All right, let's take a look at your weather across the nation today. We've got this frontal system that's just across north central Florida. This front will be moving through the area. It will cross over the Abacos sometime before dawn in the morning. Should cross over Grand Bahama about 3 a.m. and then exit coming into Abaco just before dawn. It will be bringing with it some scattered showers and a cooling down just slightly over the weekend. Let's take a look at this, how this system has been moving over the past 12 hours. And looking at our surface map into motion coupled with the satellite imagery, you can see how the front left Texas and moving into the Florida panhandles and then into north central Florida, making its way towards the southeast. A weak low pressure center has developed along that frontal system, and it will not be that serious in nature. Let's take a look at your satellite imagery with the infrared technology. You can see most of the cloud activity is to the north of the Bahamas and into the eastern seaboard of the United States. Putting this into motion, most of the stuff is riding off, will be riding off to the north and east of this area. Some scattered clouds just to across the northern part of Abaco and into Grand Bahama. No rain showing up of significance on the radar this morning. We're seeing some showers over the west coast of Florida. That's all associated with the frontal system. Your winds will be from the southwest, 10 to 15 knots today, 10 to 15 knots in the nation's capital. Very possible 15 to 20 knots because Nassau lies right along 25 north latitude. And so as a consequence, we're seeing anywhere south of 25 north latitude, which also runs through Governor's Harbor. So the north side of Eleuthera should have 10 to 15 knots from the southwest. The southern side of Eleuthera should have 15 to 20. The southeastern Bahamas will have 15 to 20 knots as we go into today. The daytime high temperature in the low 80s in parts of the Bahamas, upper 70s, mostly the order of the day, in the low to mid 70s during the daytime as your high and low temperatures are concerned. For tomorrow, the morning at 7 a.m., look where the front lies, right along the Abacos with the low pressure coupled just to the northeast of Hopetown, and it will bring with it a few scattered showers and a cooling down effect slightly. Taking a look at the forecast for Friday, 10 to 15 knots from the south-southwest early. It will be switching northwest early behind the frontal system, and so you should see northwesterly winds throughout the course of the day in Abaco and Grand Bahama. The nation's capital on the south side of the eastern side of the front, you should see some east to southeast winds in Nassau. That will switch around early, midday, some mid-afternoon as the frontal system moves through your area. Eleuthera 10 to 15 knots, and the southern Bahamas 10 to 15 knots. The front will again become nearly stationary before it gradually moves south and dissipates. Look, the front will move through Friday evening, be south of Nassau on Friday evening. We're leaving with it a few scattered showers and a slight reduction in the temperature. On Saturday, these winds will pick up 10 to 15 knots north of Hole in the Wall. So Abaco and Grand Bahama will get 15 to 20 knots. The remainder of the Bahamas should see 10 to 15 across the southern Bahamas and central Bahamas. But the 15 to 20 out of the north should be in the northern Bahamas. And small craft should exercise some degree of caution on Saturday as you go out for your boating. On Sunday, Church Day, look for 10 to 15 knots from the northeast. That will be the order of the day up and down the coast of the nation. Here is your boating forecast for today. The seas will be whipping up a little bit, 6 to 7 foot seas offshore, 10 to 15 knots from the south-southwest. Whale Key will have some ragey conditions occurring. Also the cut at Bryland, between Bryland and Spanish Well, you'll see some southwesterly swells as well. The southern Bahamas, 15 to 20 knots, southeast to south, 6 to 8 foot seas offshore. Low tides occurring at 7 a.m., high tides occurring at 12:42 p.m. in the afternoon, and low tides occurring at 7 p.m. this evening. That's a look at your weather from BCN's Weather Center. The weather is brought to you in part by Sky Bahamas Limited. When I fly with Sky.